Morning.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What do we got?
The forecast calls for 102 degrees Saturday in Pasadena. How are you going to handle the heat?
We'll try to get a dome built between now and then. I don't know if that'll work, but that's just, you got to deal with it. We have always planned on, especially early, you got to play a lot of depth. You got to play a lot of guys. And I think that's beneficial to us is that we do have a lot of guys that we can play. You got to monitor it. We practice at the time we're going to play, so we're usually on the field at that point in time. It's obviously a little bit cooler here than it is up there, but you can't manufacture that. It's not like we can get reflective mirrors out there and make it a little bit hotter for training sessions today. But the one thing is both teams have to play in the same weather, so they'll be under the same situation that we are. So really the key to it is depth, and our team does a really good job from a hydration standpoint. So. We'll see how that goes.
You have the cool zones out there, right?
Yeah, they'll have them on the sidelines. Yeah.
How would you say, I remember in 2019 you said it was like the healthiest training camp you ever had. It seems like this is a really good one.
It has been. I think our guys have done a really good job. Football has become a year-round deal for all these guys. I think KB's done a great job of them in the off-season. So I think sometimes there's an in shape, out of shape, in shape, out of shape. That really doesn't occur now. And at any places in college, so I think you're probably a little bit more healthier because your depth obviously gets tested. And I think that's the one thing you learn is that the teams that are usually the deepest, when you get to later in the year, it's beneficial to you. So, but it has been a relatively healthy training camp. So, knock on wood, we still have 4 more days to go before we play in the game. So, we'd like to get through at least Wednesday, which is the hitting portions of our week. So. But right now we're on track to be pretty healthy. So.
I've got a true but useless factoid for you. Their quarterback is the son of former USC quarterback Paul McDonald.
He was a great player at USC.
Yeah. What have you seen in their quarterback?
I think he's obviously the guy we got to focus on and stop. I think he does a great job, within their system. And Scott's always done a really good job with all the quarterbacks that he's coached in his career. But I think he really truly understands what they're doing. They're an empty a lot, and I think they're an empty because the quarterback can direct everything. And he seems like he's a sharp, really well-coached kid. He also makes a lot of plays off script, so when the rush gets home, but he can stay alive. And he's made some really, really big plays. He's got his eyes downfield. He's a lot like Russell Wilson that way. Some guys, when they look to scramble, they look to run. He's looking to make the big play in the pass game, so we have to be conscious of that and make sure we plaster with our guys when he's in scramble mode. But he's the key. He's the key to what they do on offense, and everything they do revolves around him. He's got a lot on his plate. He runs a lot of check with me's at the line of scrimmage, so we really have to focus our game plan around him.
Got the scout team out here starting last Friday and now through this week. Chase Artopia has been scout team QB for a couple years now. How important is it to have someone at that spot who's been there before and knows what he's doing in terms of running that kind of thing?
It's critical, especially when you're playing a quarterback-centric offense like this one is. And Chase really takes a lot of pride in that role. Spends a lot of time watching film of the other opponent. Try to, as much as he can, replicate what the other quarterback is going to do. And he's been one of the real unsung heroes of what we do here. Because of the pride he takes in that. And I think he's done a great job. We give out Scout Team Player of the Week awards, and I think he won it 3 or 4 times last year, for the work he did. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing that again this year. But that's just the type of kid he is, and we're fortunate to have him.
Did you give out those scholarships?
We have not done anything yet.
I don't think we spotted Xavier Staples out here. Is he making his way back from something?
He's still making his way back from an injury.
What about Sellers and Selner? Is there any update?
No updates on those guys.
And then Justin Martin, what have you seen out of him in fall camp versus how he looked in spring? Where's his
the cool thing with Justin is I think you can see him getting better every day. And I think he's a real student of the game, works extremely hard at football. He's one of the stay after practice guys. Every time you kind of look up, he's working on either a fundamental or something. He's always in the film room during the off season and during the film room during camp. He's around this building a lot. Football's really, really important to Justin, and you love that work ethic in him. And you can see him on a daily basis getting better and better and better, and he's got a really bright future here.
How instrumental has it been to have Dorian to kind of show him the way as he's on the fly?
Good question. It's always beneficial when you have an older player at your position that you can kind of learn from. That veteran leadership. and Dorian certainly has provided that for that group. You know, and I think it's one of the neat things about that room is that you do have, you know, a fifth-year kid all the way down to a true freshman, you know, and all the classes in between. But it's a really good quarterback room. They really are pulling for each other. They want them to be successful. You can see that when we're, you know, doing 7-on-7. Those guys are good that aren't in are going through the reads and kind of, you know, talking to each other between snaps about what they saw and how they would have played it. And it's been a really good group, but it's a really cool dynamic to have a fifth-year senior and a true freshman and have them work that closely together.
Okay,
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.